Chapter 14. As per the battle of Gunther and King has been initiated, the king approached his dead queen, said this is the first time someone pissed him so much, and after that he emitted more aura that causing the pressure to be so heavy. Gunther said, what a powerful fellow, then uses his con to control the environment. Then he dashed toward to the king and he easily blocked his attack. Then uses his tail to counterattack to Gunther, and luckily Gunther evaded a powerful punch from the king upon hitting the ground. It almost split the ground, Gunther telling himself if he will be hit with that attack he will be annihilated in just a single hit. This is how strong their king is, but he's still not that fully developed when using his aura, which is an advantage to us, but if he managed to control it properly it's a different story. Then Smoke initiated his attack on the Guardian by releasing smoke throughout the area, and subsequently transforming the smoke into spikes to hit the Guardian. However, the Guardian managed to avoid these attacks and commented that Vinsmoke needed to do better than that. To take things up a notch, Vinsmoke contacted Ruby and gave her the coordinates of their current location. Ruby quickly activated her dimensional rift at the designated location, trapping both Vinsmoke and the Guardian inside. The Guardian said, I'm Leon, right hand of the Guardian Herald, and laughed and said, you though, I'm the guard, huh? Vinsmoke was surprised at what he said. When trying to contact Ruby, his communication card is not working. Leon said, you cannot use it. I disabled the link from outside and added that it's a wrong decision to lock both of them in the rift. Then he activates his space manipulation skill, then he uses the edges of the rift and bounds on it while attacking Vinsmoke in a very fast phasing. Then, Vinsmoke is only evading, but if it continues, he will easily lose his energy in the process due to Leon's skill and movement speed. Vinsmoke defensive aura start to weaken. Then Leon asks, can you still fight? I notice your aura got lesser and lesser. Vinsmoke just smiled, and telling himself this is the last option is a tough one. He started to spread his smoke, and this time he created small droplets of water suspended in the cold air, usually by condensation using his weapon. His planning to pour the whole area with water and the water immediately rise. Leon said, I really do plan to do that. You will drown both of us in the process, and in an instant the water level totally on full the whole area within a seconds. Vinsmoke create a bubble so that he can survive before Leon lost his breath. Leon starts to lose consciousness and got drowned in the process. The communication bearing is back again, and Ruby received a message to disable the rift. When Yuan grabbed the other subordinates, Ruby already teleported them to her rift. While is pulling the enemy, its body starts to glow and turn his body into a bulk musculature and manly frame, but with irregularly shaped ears, animal-like legs with feet initially depicted to be claws of 3 digits which were 2 digits and of round toes. Yuan was surprised not on his transformation but on the aura he's emitting. Yuan start to ask himself, is he really a subordinate only? Yuan immediately uses his thread skill, because he notices that his enemy facing is one of the Guardian, which they mistakenly took as a subordinate of a Guardian, and his aura's color is black. It means a specialization type. The Guardian produces 4 extra arms and start to attack Yuan. Yuan also exchange punches with him. Yuan find an opening to spread his thread along the area. The Guardian said, do not underestimate my capabilities. I know what you are planning, boy. Yuan dashed back, then uses his transformation. The Guardian said, it will be a nice fight and entertain me. By the way, I'm Herald, one of the 6 Guardian of the King. May I know your name? Yuan responded with a punches. Then he uses ground zero to fully control the area and movement of the enemy. Herald smiled and transformed his both hands into tentacle and start to Yuan in a long distance. Yuan tell himself, I need to analyze more his skills. He can transform any part of his body. Yuan start to use his con to see and sense any aura movement or planted in environment. Herald remarked that Yuan seemed very serious, then he summoned his tentacle from behind him. However, Yuan easily dodged it thanks to his ability to see 5 seconds into the future. Herald then launched his tentacles at Yuan like homing missiles, and Yuan was trying to figure out how to approach him. He decided to use his thread to create a net and stop all of Herald's attacks, and then pulled him closer with the same thread. But Harold just grinned and transformed into a jelly-like texture, forming a shark jaw and advancing towards Yuan as if he were about to devour him. As Harold closed on him, Yuan activated his Devourer skill to absorb Harold's ki. With this move, Yuan was able to damage his opponent. Additionally, the ki he absorbed could be used to either transform into a core or enhance his attacks for a short period. After teleporting onto Harold's back, Yuan covered him in thread and compressed him. However, Harold was able to transform into a much smaller version of himself to evade the attack. Harold boasts incredible physical strength, which he can enhance with his aura. He can also shapeshift to increase it even further. He can knock down walls with a single punch, while each of his whip-like limbs can shatter rock. One of his regular-sized arms could stop attacks from Yuan, and he completely destroyed the Ground Zero with a single blow, and the shockwave caused the whole palace to shake with a double strike to the ground. He created a crater on the dimension created by Ruby. The first time he sprouted wings, to enhance more his movement speed. Harold enhanced speed and reflexes. Now he has great attack speed, relentlessly assaulting shoot with swift tentacle strikes and not leaving Yuan an opening to attack while he dispatched Yuan's threads, which he could destroy in the blink of an eye. He noticed that Yuan used his thread like a whip. He shapeshifted and dashed toward Yuan. However, despite the superiority in range, he was not fast enough to catch up to Yuan as he ran away. In his new form, he became much faster, moving fast enough that he passed Yuan by before he could react. Yuan luckily used his defensive aura in a right time. He manages to cover Harold's body with thread, then create an explosion inside, almost damage his upper body. Then Harold discovered his primary ability allows him to freely control any part of his anatomy. In battle, he most commonly uses it to sprout 4 additional arms and make all 6 tentacle-like, significantly increasing the range and number of his attacks every second, and start attacking Yuan. This time, it's very hard for Yuan to evade his attack. It consumes too much energy. Harold also produces additional eyes on his head, shoulders, and back in order to erase his blind spots. He can turn the tip of each tentacle into a blade to inflict more localized damage. He can also give himself wings, enlarge his arms to increase the power of his blows, and eject spikes from his torso to impale Yuan if he's trying to approach him. Yuan telling himself, if his opponent is an immortal, the more you damage it becomes tougher. Ruby immediately deactivates the rift, then and create a cube and lock Harold inside, and Yuan pour his ki into the cube to create more intensive explosion inside the cube, then ask everyone to retreat for the meanwhile, while Adam also finished the other enemy, but it's almost drained his ki while fighting it. Ruby grab Vinsmoke and Adam and bring them back to the camp, while for Yuan his legs has been captured by the tentacle of Harold, then he thrown into the air. Yuan uses his thread to stop the tentacles attacking him, and the issue now is the vision of the enemy, and he do not have any blind spot now. He covered his whole arms with aura ready to fight Harold using only his bare hand, and the two start to exchange blow. Then Harold saw an opportunity. One of his tentacle bite the both legs of Yuan, which almost tear his flesh. Then Yuan thread skill is capable of creating stitches which can be used to sew up wounds and even to completely reattach severed damaged body parts in a short time and repair his muscles using his thread immediately after the operation. Yuan has an intense regenerative properties, either revitalizing the dead cells or stimulating the production of new ones. Harold is amazed on what he saw, then said, "We're fair now, even you can regenerate immediately, and this will be a very entertaining battle," and use his telepathy to contact their king, and said sorry for the late message, for meanwhile I'll going to finish the battle, and after this I'll join the rest of the Guardian. Yuan finds an opening to attach his thread to Harold, then he transmutes his aura into threads to manipulate Harold's movements like a puppet. Then strangle him and say that the strength of the threads is inversely proportional to their length and the amount of ki you put on it. The threads are also very durable, unable to be cut or torn. However, before Yuan started to cut his body, someone interrupted the fight and said, "You cannot even manage to finish your opponent. He was only a mere child," and after that he channeled his ki into his own body and transformed into a centaur-like creature. This form bears a helm-like extension on his head, a powerful scythe on his right arm, and a large amoebic sac in place of his left arm that contains his rage. He appears to become faster in this state and retains the ability to shapeshift. As his wrath grows, instead of his whole body swelling up, only the amoebic sac on his left shoulder does, removing his previous weakness, and he manages to escape on Yuan's thread easily. Then Herald instantly dashes toward Yuan. Even Yuan has 5 seconds foreseen, and the future is so fast that Yuan cannot react to the axe that's going to hit him. Then Ruby came back for him but uses her body to block the axes that going to hit Yuan. Even she has defensive aura. The slash strike through her body and blood starts to gush slowly. Yuan was consumed by anger upon witnessing what happened to Ruby. And the time starts to stop, and the surroundings turns into the dark. Then someone touches his hands. It's the boy he's seen before and asked him that he will take over his body for a short period of time, and he will show to him also the fraction of his full power. Yuan's body instantly pour gold and black aura, and his physics turn into an adult form and instantly grab the Phase 2 Guardian and thrown them both in the air, and Yuan disabled the key of both Guardian. Then the other said, even our king didn't possess this tremendous power. I need to inform the others. Before he informed the other Guardian, Yuan already dissolved his body using superior form of Palm Blast, which almost destroyed the whole mountain in one shot. Herald is surprised on what he witnessed. Then Yuan immediately grabbed his arm and torn it while saying, show me your Regan ability. Unluckily, Herald cannot use any key ability, and Yuan thrown him in the air like a rag doll. Then use his Devour skill so that Herald will have no chance to regenerate his body. The boy informed Yuan that he only displayed a fraction of his capabilities and promised to meet him again soon before putting on his mask. After regaining control of his body, Yuan speculated that this boy might be connected to the recent appearances of certain individuals. Then Yuan immediately uses his thread to stitch Ruby's body, and luckily Ruby uses her aura to block her veins to prevent any severe blood loss, but still Ruby is unconscious and her condition is out of danger now. Then Yuan immediately go back to the camp. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe.